The Google search results page for any given term can look very different. And that's true whether you're doing your search on a mobile device or on desktop. On any given search page, there will be variations of organic listings and variations of paid listings. Just take a look at the listings page the next time you do a search, and you'll notice things that maybe you hadn't paid attention to before. And where you show up as a business on the listing will determine the volume and the quality of the traffic you get to your site. The quickest way to get to the top of the search results page is through Google Ads, meaning you're going to have to pay Google for clicks and rankings. Organic is a good strategy, but it's a long-term strategy, and a lot of businesses are looking for quick ways to get to the top. And the top of the rankings can get 10 times more traffic than the 10th or 11th ranking on any given page. Today, I want to give you an overview of Google Ads and walk you through the mechanics of the ad platform, talk about how bidding works, explain how Google assigns quality score and why that is so important to your campaign, and also discuss the type of ads you can run, search, display, video, in-app, and also give you an overview of the targeting features, ad copy, and your landing page. Finally, be sure to listen to the end because I have 15 years of experience working with Google Ads, and I share some valuable tips and tricks and things that I've learned from a school of hard knocks. And believe me, you don't want to miss those nuggets as you try to grow your business using Google Ads. Welcome to the latest episode of Corner Your Market. I'm your host, Sailes Kimide. In this podcast, I talk about all things digital marketing, from website design and development to SEO and PPC, as well as paid advertising, email marketing, social media, and anything in between. If you're a small business owner, a marketing manager in a company, or an entrepreneur, this podcast is for you. So tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. You'll gain some practical insights, new strategies, tactics, and tools that will help you grow your business. To subscribe, go to corneryourmarketpodcast.com and select the podcast app of your choice. Then you can hit subscribe within those apps. That again is corneryourmarketpodcast.com. Also, don't forget to like and share our individual episodes. You can also leave a review in the app once you've listened to one of our episodes. There's a lot of ways to appear on Google's SERP, SERP SERP as it's called in the industry. There's organic listings and then there's paid listings. Organically basically gets its name because you're not actually paying Google to appear on that listing. You're just basically providing them with optimized content so that Google ranks you accordingly. And if you look at organic listings, you'll see quite a few variations. There is the people also ask section if people have asked a question, and then it basically lists other questions that people might have asked that are similar to the question that you're asking. So if you ask a question like, do I have COVID? There might be a section that says people also asked, what are the symptoms of COVID? And things like that. So that's the people also ask section. That's organic. And then there's also featured snippets where if you have a very specific question, then Google actually pulls from, say, Wikipedia or a very reputable source, and it pulls the paragraph that actually answers the question, and that's a featured snippet. So for instance, if you were to ask a question, how many times has Argentina won the World Cup? It might pull up a listing from Wikipedia saying Argentina has won 3 World Cups, give you the listings of the years that it won and all that kind of stuff. So that's a featured snippet. And then there's also the map section. So if you're doing a search for a local business, let's say you're looking for, teeth whitening services in your area, and it'll pull up a map section and then basically show you the closest teeth whitening services relative to your location. So those are the different variations. And then finally, there's the main variation, which is the traditional organic listing, basically listing out in blue the title tag and then the description of the website with the link to the website itself. So those are the type of organic listings that you have. But if you look at the SERP very carefully, the paid listings trumps it all, right? Those are at the very top. These are sites that have paid Google to appear in the results for that particular term. So, they might have paid a certain amount of money to appear for that search term. Usually there are 3 or 4 that are ads. There used to be a right sidebar that had additional ads, but they got rid of that a few years ago. But now it's at the top of the page, and it usually has the word ad, A-D, next to it. And that indicates to the user that that is actually an ad. However, it's very difficult to distinguish it from an traditional organic listing, to be honest with you, because I think people gloss over the ad term and they just think that that's the number one result. But I think most people are savvy these days and understand that's probably a paid term. But even for the paid listing, there's a couple of variations. There's a standard traditional text-based listing, which has the blue text of the headline, and then it has the description of the site, and then maybe some site links, maybe a phone number and things like that. And you click on it and it takes you to the page that you're trying to get to. There's also shopping ads. So if you were to search for, let's say, earbuds or something like that, then it'll show you all the, advertisers that are selling earbuds, all the different retailers. It'll give you different, it'll show you ratings. It'll show you all kinds of stuff depending on how the ads are set up by the retailers. So obviously there's quite a few variations in the ads, but in the paid listings as well. But paid listings behave within the same parameters. So I can go over that. That's what I'm going to go over today. But obviously, the higher you are on the page, the higher the number of visitors that come to your site, because people click on the highest ranked terms. And Google does its darnest to make sure that the most relevant result is at the top of the page. And that's kind of how they've made their money, is by the relevancy of the ad. So since we don't scroll to the second page, or we don't keep scrolling on mobile and things like that, being top ranked is very important. And whether it's organically top ranked or paid listing wise top ranked, the higher the listing, the click-through rates can vary by an order of magnitude of 10. So if the top listings are getting, let's say, 25% click-through rates, the bottom listings are probably getting, or the 10th or 11th listing is probably getting, let's say, 2%. So it's quite a variation. So that's where the need for paid listings comes in, because paid listings gives you an opportunity to be at the very top of the page. And that's where the biggest value is. But again, it's paid, so you have to be very careful with how you do it. And you have to have a really good strategy for making sure that you're not wasting your valuable dollars. So let's start from the top. PPC stands for pay per click. So as the advertisers are paying search engines every time someone clicks on your listing. So that's what PPC stands for. Google's PPC program used to be called Google AdWords, but in 2018, they rebranded to Google Ads. They dropped the words basically because the platform allows more than just word-based advertising. They also offer video placements, banner ads, ads in apps, and things like that. So that's part of the reason why they dropped the AdWords and just called it Google Ads. But Bing has ads too, in case you didn't know. So I'll throw that in just into the mix. But it behaves very similarly, Bing Ads. I've run campaigns on Bing Ads, and the platform is very similar. They pretty much do everything that Google's doing just to kind of stay relevant. And I don't know if they're relevant, but anyway, it's still an option if you're looking for it. Basically, the way the system works is advertisers bid a certain amount to rank for a certain keyword. So your bid is typically the maximum bid, meaning that that is the max that you're willing to pay for a click. So let's say you want to bid $3 for a search term. If all the others in the marketplace are bidding $2, then you get to rank, right? And you basically pay $2.01, basically 1 cent more than the next higher bidder, and you get your rank. But if others are bidding $5 and $6 and you're only bidding $3, you won't get your ranking unless you have a very high quality score. And even then it could be pretty high. It could be pretty difficult with that kind of variation. But anyway, let me basically, just because it's an auction doesn't mean that the highest bidder gets the highest rank. I just mentioned Google's quality score. And quality score is basically based on your keyword, your ad copy, and your landing page. Google basically assigns a number between 1 and 10, with 10 being the highest quality. That's what they tell you. We don't know what the inside formulation algorithm is. It's kind of like the Coca-Cola recipe. Nobody knows, right? But here's how Google defines quality score. Quality score is an estimate of the quality of your ads, keywords, and landing pages. Higher quality ads can lead to lower prices and better ad positions. That's Google's definition of quality score. So what this means for you as the advertiser is that the highest bidder, being the highest bidder, isn't enough. If the second highest bidder has a much higher quality score than you, then they would basically outrank you, meaning that they would be paying less for a higher position just because they have a higher quality score than you. So that's just in very simple terms. So that's why quality score is so important. And as the advertiser, you need to make sure that your keywords, your ad copy, and your landing pages, where the user ends up, the landing page, the destination page as it used to be called, are the highest relevance and highest quality. So let me give you an example of this just to kind of make sure you understand and it's clear. Suppose you are bidding on the term AC repair, right? But your ad copy talks about AC replacement. You might not make much of it and think, AC repair, AC replacement, same thing, but really there's a difference. And the landing page that you have where you're sending all your visitors, let's say, has all of your services listed on the landing page, including heating, including all the other different services you do, maybe furnace repair, whatever you have. Basically, there's not a focus in the landing page on AC repair, just like the ad. The ad talked about AC replacement, right? So if you really think about it, there's a disjointed experience for a user that is searching for AC repair, sees an ad for AC replacement, and if they happen to click on it, arrives at a page that talks about all the different services that you provided. And with the user's ADD, user's tendency to want quick information, they're going to leave. You're going to waste your money. But at the end of the day, Google is going to assign you a poor quality score. So you're going to be paying a lot for that traffic. And at the end of the day, you're most likely going to lose them as well. So now going back to the example of AC repair, let's say that you are bidding on the term AC repair. And this time, your ad copy talks about AC repair and the type of repairs you do. It's very relevant to AC repair. The person that is searching AC repair sees, oh, these guys do AC repair. Not only that, they do these types of repairs. And then they click on the ad and they arrive at a landing page that talks about your AC repair service, your technicians who do AC repair, the types of systems you repair, and all that good stuff, all focused around the concept and the key phrase and the keyword of AC repair. Most likely in this scenario, Google's going to look at that and give your entire campaign a very high quality score, which means you're going to be able to outrank other people for the same cost. So if you're bidding $3 for AC repair, you're going to be guaranteed at least a really good position, right? Assuming that's the going rate. So anyway, so that's a good example of quality score and the importance of it, right? So keep that in mind. And you have a lot of control over that as the advertiser. You determine the keywords that you're gonna bid on, you determine the ad copy, you determine the landing page design and what you have on the landing page. So be sure to keep that in mind. That really influences your quality score. Now, when it comes to bids, there are 3 different types of bids depending on the type of ads that you're running. There's the cost per click bid, which is CPC, which is basically how much are you willing to pay when a user clicks on your ad. There's also CPM, cost per milli, cost per thousand, is how much you're willing to pay for every 1,000 times the ad is shown. And that's more for display ads, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then there's cost per engagement, CPE, which is how much you're willing to pay when a user performs a specific action. For instance, when somebody watches a video, for instance. So this is more relevant for a video ad. Now let's talk about the type of Google ads that are available. And Google offers a variety of ads. There's the traditional search campaign ad, which we just talked about, which is somebody does a search for a keyword, listings show up, they click on the ad, they go to the landing page, right? That's a search ad. A display ad is where you as the advertiser upload different banners, different images and ads and things like that, images of ads and things like that, and you basically upload it and you tell Google that you want to show these images with the call to action, all that kind of stuff on the type of sites that you want to show it to. So let's say going back to the AC repair, maybe you want to show that in newspaper websites where they are basically, talking about the weather and things like that. So Google has a network of advertisers and they're part of the display network, and that's where your ads would be shown. Then there's the shopping campaign ads, which we talked about, which is you need to upload a shopping feed of all of your products, prices, descriptions, availability, quantities available. You can even add reviews and things like that. And it's a shopping campaign ad, and it basically shows up at the very top with all the different retailers that, say that you're selling earbuds. So you have all the different earbuds available. You upload the file, and then you bid on the type of terms and placements that you want. And then there's a video campaign, which is you upload a video file, maybe a 5-second, 15-second, 30-second ad, and then determine what kind of places you want that to be shown, and basically do that. And then the final ad is the app campaign ads, which is ads that show up in the campaign in the apps that people have. So again, part of the app network. So if you want people to download certain apps and things like that, so it's an app ad. I haven't done a lot of those, so I'm not too familiar with it. But so those are the type of Google ads that you can do. When you go to set up your Google Ads campaign, it does ask you at the very beginning what your campaign objectives are. And if you're doing a search campaign, it'll ask you if your objectives are sales, leads, website traffic. So there's distinct differences between them. And the way you bid and the way you adjust your bid and things like that will be different. And the way Google's AI basically optimizes your ad would be different depending on if you have sales as your goal, leads as your goal, or website traffic. Same thing for display. It'll ask you if you're wanting to do sales, leads, website traffic, brand awareness, and reach, things like that. So you really need to pay attention to what your overall campaign objectives are and set it up correctly. You then set a daily budget. Obviously, we don't have infinite budgets. So you want to set a daily budget limit in terms of how much you're willing to spend per day. And you also set your bid strategy. A lot of times Google will offer you different strategies. I would basically go with, depending on what your campaign objectives are, I would basically go with what Google recommends. But anyway, pay attention to that as well. And then for writing the ad copy, Google has dynamic search ads these days. And that basically means you write a few headlines, you write a few descriptions, there's character limits, and then basically Google mixes and matches the headlines and the descriptions and then shows the best combinations. And then depending on the performance, it basically narrows it down to one or two that it shows on a consistent basis. So it's very, very automated in many ways. And then, of course, when you're setting up your Google Ads, you also need to set your targeting options. By definition, your keywords will filter people out. So depending on what you're putting in, it's going to filter people out naturally. But you can also do targeting based on geography. If you want to only show your ad in a 7-mile radius, or if you want to show it in a statewide or citywide or a certain DMA, you can select those as well. There's also demographic selections that you can make. If you have a product that you're selling to females, you can select females. If you have a product or service that is suited for 65 and older, you can select that as well. and things like that. So there's a lot of targeting options available, and that's where the value is. You really need to pay attention to your targeting so that you can get the most out of your advertising dollars. And then display and video also have placement options, but you do need to run the ads first and then see the placements that you got, and then basically weed out the ones that you don't want so that the algorithm knows where you want to show and things like that. So there's a lot of targeting options there as well. Finally, once you've got everything set up and things are running, you basically then need to set up tracking, meaning how are you going to measure the success of your campaign? So you want to set up the right conversion. So for instance, sale is obviously the ultimate tracking tool if that's what you're after. So you want to make sure that the sales numbers are set up correctly and that the sale value gets reported back to Google AdWords. Google Ads, so that Google knows that there was a conversion, it knows the value, and it knows how to adjust its optimization algorithm so that it continues to drive more sales. Now, if you're just doing downloads, then you want to make sure that, when somebody fills out the form and then they download something, that page is unique, not indexed, and people can't get to it from anywhere else, and that you have the conversion set up so that page, when somebody arrives at that page, it gets reported back to Google that you have a conversion. And that's important information for them because they use that for optimizing your ads. And I would also recommend, even if you don't have any kind of conversion value associated with your action, let's say you're downloading PDFs, I would assign a certain value to it. Maybe you want to go back to your systems and just kind of calculate how much is a PDF download worth to you. Let's say it's $45. It gives you a good way to measure ROI and gives you a really good idea of how much you're getting out of your AdWords efforts. So again, tracking and the metrics behind the tracking are just very important. And there's a lot of metrics there that you can look at, and I can cover that in another podcast. It's a little beyond the scope of what I'm trying to do today. Just give you an overview of Google Ads so you're familiar with the basic concepts and that you know what you're getting into if you decide to go this route. Now, those are all the mechanics. Now, let's talk a little bit about tips and tricks for Google Ads from my experience. From my experience, what I would say is you want to be very, very focused. You want to organize your campaign into ad groups, and you want to make sure that your keywords are really tight. So going back to that example of AC repair, maybe you have 8 or 9 keywords in there: AC repair near me, AC repair for XYZ system, AC repair technician, all focused on AC repair, so that the copy that is served for those search terms are just about AC repair, and that the landing page that you send people to is about AC repair. So you want to really build it out with that kind of focus, because in the long term, like I explained before, it helps you with your quality score and it really helps you drive an ROI. And then what I would also do is keep track of all the metrics and remove keywords that are not performing as soon as possible. There's certain things you can look at, right? If you've had a keyword in there that has 100 impressions, meaning it's been searched 100 times and your ad's shown, but you have 0 clicks on it and it's been 3 weeks, it's time to get rid of that. It's not doing anything for you. Think of another keyword, find something else, remove that, get rid of it. So remove keywords and add new keywords pretty relentlessly. And Google has a keyword tool built into its system that can help you find new keywords and things like that. But you got to be creative. Same thing with ads. Although now with their AI system, it's a little bit tricky, but keep an eye on the headlines and the descriptions and things like that, and see which ones are performing and which ones are not, and constantly add new ones, remove old ones. Just give them something to work with. Another thing is you want to keep an eye on your budget. Boy, $1 per click doesn't sound like a lot, but man, when you've got hundreds of thousands of impressions, or at least maybe if you're playing in that kind of space, budget goes by really fast. So you want to keep an eye on the budget. Obviously, if you have a max daily budget, you'll never cross that. Google's system will balance itself out. Even if you go over by a couple of dollars today, tomorrow they'll adjust it, and that way you're under by a couple of dollars. But over a given period of time, you're going to basically be at that max budget. But keep an eye on the budget. And like I said earlier, if your conversion doesn't have a value associated to it, add a value parameter to it so you get a good ROI picture. And don't just pick up any conversion value. Do some math on your back end based on maybe the action that you're wanting, the lead that you're generating, because leads have value. Your PDF downloads have value. Any kind of action has some kind of value. So do a little bit of homework and come up with something. And also, this is a big one. This is a one that's a little counterintuitive, but make sure you have a good budget to work with. What I found is spending too little is just a waste of money. And by too little, I mean, it's hard to say for everybody, but in the industries that I've worked in, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month is kind of a bare minimum, because at the end of the day, search is a numbers game. So you have to show up enough times over a given period of time and have enough clicks for you to have a certain conversion, right? So if you're only spending $200 and the max, the market rate for each click is $5, that means over a given period of time, you're maybe getting what's 200 divided by 5 is 40 clicks, right? And if that's over a month, that may not be enough for you to get the conversions that you need, especially if you're not selling a very high-priced item, that you're not going to be able to get the kind of ROI that you're looking for. So keep that in mind. Look at the going rate for the bid prices for the keywords that you're targeting. Look at the average of that. Look at, how many clicks do you need? How many impressions do you need? What kind of click-through rates can you get? And just do a back of the envelope calculation for ROI to get an idea for where your budget needs to be. And then also keep in mind that the first month is really to establish yourself. You need to hone in on that quality score, and that takes some time. And you also need to gain trust with Google as an advertiser. So again, that takes some time. So the first few weeks, really you're just playing with getting yourself established, trying to get some traffic, trying to get some traction. If you get some conversions in that time frame, great, it happens. But anyway, don't get, don't feel like, that's enough time for you to shut something off or anything like that. So I recommend at least a 3, if not a 4-month campaign, to be honest with you. So what I'm trying to say is you have to have a healthy budget. You have to have a healthy budget, and you have to have the willingness to go the distance to make sure that you can do this properly, do it well, and get a return on your investment. And if you're a business owner and you don't have time to do this, find someone that has a lot of experience. And by a lot of experience, I mean at least 3 years of experience running these kind of campaigns. I don't think industry is very important. It's more important that this person has experience with Google Ads and running these kind of running campaigns, and is familiar with the different strategies, different bidding strategies, different tactics, different targeting methods and adjustments and things like that. So industry is not necessarily important, industry experience, but experience with the system is definitely important when it comes to Google Ads. So to recap, in this episode, we talked about the different type of listings on Google search results page, organic and paid, and the variations within each of those. We talked about the mechanics of the system, how bidding works. We also touched on how Google assigns the Google quality score and why that is so important to your overall performance. And we also talked about the different types of ads you can run: search, display, video, in-app, and also talked about targeting, ad copy, landing page, and things like that. And finally, we talked about tracking and optimizing based on the results that you're seeing real time. And I also shared some of my tips and tricks based on my experience running these campaigns over the last 15 years. So that's the recap. If you have any questions on this topic, I know it's a big topic. There's probably things that I did not cover because I'm trying to fit this in to a really high-level overview of Google Ads. But if there's topics that you feel like I did not cover, or you want me to give some, or you want to just give me some feedback, You can always do that by writing to me at connect@corneryourmarketpodcast.com. That email is connect@corneryourmarketpodcast.com. So with that, happy marketing, enjoy Google Ads, and can't wait to hear from you on your experience.
If you're a small business owner, a marketing manager at a company, or an entrepreneur, please tune in weekly. You'll gain some insights, tips, tricks, and be a bit more enlightened when it comes to digital marketing. I promise you, if you implement the strategies, tactics, and tools I've discussed in this podcast, your business will definitely grow. Please subscribe to this podcast. You can do so by going to corneryourmarketpodcast.com and subscribe with the listening platform of your choice. That URL again is corneryourmarketpodcast.com. Don't forget to like and share this episode with your friends and colleagues. Also, don't forget to leave a review. Those mean a lot to me and can help others that would benefit from the information to share. Finally, I would love to hear from you. I love getting listener emails. So if you have questions, feedback, or any general comment about the topics I discuss on this podcast, feel free to send me an email. I will be sure to share and discuss your feedback on the air if it will benefit our listening audience. You can write to me at connect@corneryourmarketpodcast.com. Just put listener comment in the subject line. That email again is connect@corneryourmarketpodcast.com. And again, please put listener comment in the subject line. Thanks for listening today. I look forward to being back next week. Until then, be good and do good.